Alrighty boys, it is March 1st. Just uploaded sheds 10 through 33 this morning. And that was all in southern Iowa. We are back here in central Iowa with a ton of snow. But a little tip, this is what I'm doing today here at the home farm. I'm in the destination food. You're gonna have spots just like this where snow is melted. And right here you have, you know, the easiest access to food where the snow is gone. So this is where all these deer are feeding, in this destination food. And I'm just driving all of these spots, and I mean there's deer tracks leading from all directions right to this spot because it's the easiest food. So this is where I'm checking today, because I know like 50% of these deer, since we've had this snow, are most likely holding. I'm sure we've had a few drop in the last week, but this is the easiest time to check for those recent drops in the ag field, is when you have this snow starting to melt and these spots open up. So just a little tip. Alrighty boys, you ain't gonna believe this. So I just parked the truck right there. At this very first fence crossing, I find this. Wow. And it is frozen in the ground. Just a little 4-point. Wow. I'm gonna have to get something out of my truck and get that out. Unless I can get my fingers under it. That is shed 34, and it is not staying here. It is coming with me. Alrighty boys, I finally got it. But since the truck is here, I'm not carrying that. That thing's staying over there. Here we go boys, shed 34. Alrighty boys, it is March 6th. Our first stop of the day, it's like noon. Well, it's probably like 1 now, but I'm just getting down here in southern Iowa. The first stop is actually my farm. Still, I had 4 bucks plus dinks last night. So a lot of these bucks are still holding, unfortunately, but I do know a lot have dropped. So I'm making a small walk. Kind of intrusive. I'm gonna be walking next to some bedding, but I need to just walk it, and hopefully those bucks come back and I don't spook them. But the 2 biggest bucks we still have were sparring last night, so I think they're holding solid for at least a couple more days. So hopefully we don't booger it up. But on this short walk, I expect to at least find one. It's always the goal. So, and then we got more permission after this one, which is close to my farm. So on this next permission piece, I'm hoping we're at like 10 sheds plus off of this next piece. Alrighty boys, just found shed 35 across the ditch. And it looks like a dink right here. Shed 35 boys. Let's go. Our food is literally right there. So I'm assuming he was coming from the food, came down, jolted right here, fell off. Let's go. Shed 35. Did about half of the cedar farm. Still just got the one dink, but I'm gonna take a walk across the ag field back to my truck, and we're gonna go to the next farm. Alrighty boys, finally shed 36. I'm absolutely beat, but that is a decent shed right there. That is this year's. And yeah, we know this guy. This guy was on our food all year. His other side has a split 2 on it. let's go. Hopefully we can match this dude up. Alrighty guys, it is March 7th. We are back at my farm, the Cedar farm. Not my farm, permission farm, but the farm I hunt. I got the first half done very, very well yesterday. I'm doing the second half today. In other news, I lost permission. This is not the year I was expecting to lose permission to the two best places down here around this farm. Super unfortunate. I know I said at the beginning of the year, I don't really know where, but the goal was 100 sheds, and without these two properties, we are not gonna make 100 sheds. So the new goal is 75 sheds. That will still be more sheds than I've ever found in my life, so in a year. So 75 is the new goal. Still seems like a lot, but we're at 36. Alrighty boys, it has been a long stretch, but we got 37, and that is an oldie. Must have been a late drop last year. 37, let's go. Here we go boys, out here walking terraces, and we just matched up a shed from earlier in the year. Actually, the first freshie we found was the other side of this dude. Shed 38, let's go. Alrighty boys, we are at a new property, and this property is actually the property I found my biggest match set on, and it is actually the logo for my channel. So I found not a lot of sheds here, but some good ones, and unfortunately I have not made it to this property in, I kid you not, the last, I think, 3 or 4 seasons. So this could be interesting. We are probably going to find some old ones, and also unfortunately this is a property that I can't bow hunt, but it's a blessing I get to shed hunt it. So I'm thinking there might be a big one in here, boys. Hopefully we find it. Alrighty boys, shed 39 is an absolute slammer of a 4-point. Look at that beast. And it is a freshie. It is this year's. Let's go. That's a stud 8. Got a little bit of dried blood. Let's go. Alrighty boys, so it's been a long time. Just a thought. So you know how you always, like I was just talking about earlier, how you get to a property, boom, first shed, got one shed you just started, then you don't find a single other shed? Could that be because that first shed is very close to where you're accessing the property, and that's where the trespassers didn't go? That is very possible, because I was literally 40 yards from a fence line and a road where we found this dude, and then where I found all the other sheds of previous years in this bedding. Look how beautiful that is. Big bedding up top, warm season grasses. There's nothing, no shed. In the one year I found like 8 sheds all up along here, and not a single shed this year. But of course the one shed is right beside the access. Just a thought. Alrighty boys, so absolutely nothing at that last property. Back here at the home farm, I'm gonna check out by the food for the 10th time, it feels like, and then where these deer bed down at night. But as of 3 nights ago, the 2-year-old 10 was still holding, and the 3.5-year-old wide 9 was still holding. And then as of last night, the iGuard 8, which is another 3.5-year-old, is still holding. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how these deer are holding this long, but especially here on the home farm, the buck to doe ratio is so out of whack. And these deer usually rut themselves to death and shed super early. So it's a little different this year, but still looking for the first shed of the day. Hopefully we find it. Alright boys, I was just heading back to the truck, and look what we got here. We got a dink, and it is number 40. What a blessing. Let's go. How fresh is this thing? Yeah, I got a little bit of dried blood on it. Let's go, boys. There's number 40. Alrighty boys, it is March 9th. Just doing a quick walk here after work at the home farm. We're at 40 Antlers. I've already mentioned that about the properties that I lost and the properties that got walked illegally, which I call shed poached, whatever you want to call it. But still a blessing that we got what we got, and I mean, there's still sheds that we can find. So alrighty guys, just want to mention something real quick. If you this is to like my believers out there, if you have a person, you know, whether they were in your life for just the season, or you know, you're friends with them or co-workers, and you have it on your heart to share the gospel with them and share Jesus with them, this is your sign to be bold in your faith and do that, because you know, it's a crazy world we live in, and one day they just might not be here anymore, and you never got the chance to share the gospel with them. And it really hits you in a sort of way, you know, whether it's guilt, like how I'm feeling right now. Be bold and just tell them what Jesus has done for you in your life. Just don't ignore the Holy Spirit when he puts it on your heart, because I really do believe it's for a reason. I pray you guys have obedience and just listen to the Holy Spirit. There's literally nothing you can do after the fact. Nothing you can do, boys. And it's not a good feeling. I don't even want to be walking right now. It's alrighty boys, it is March 14th. Kind of a weird day. I drove all the way down south. It's a 5.5 hour round trip to come to the cedar farm. I had this 2-year-old 10-point show up at the food with both sides. He left at 11:30, came back at I think 3:30 a.m. with one side, and it looked like he came north, and they come north to bed out here in all this grass in between, you know, they're feeding. So then I have a different 8-point also, or I think he's got little tiny bumps for G4s, but it was actually one of the biggest deer that I've had on the food all year. He showed up one night as a half rack. So where he shed that other side, I have no idea. I haven't seen that deer for probably over a week now, and then he just showed up as a half rack. So there's a possibility. There's 2 antlers here on this farm. It's small, 20 acres. Well, 20 acres of cover. There's some ag, but I came here specifically for that 2-year-old 10, because that antler should be out here. That is the one we're here to find. And then I'm gonna go do some door knocking on the 2 permission properties. I don't know if I talked about it, but last weekend should have been a 30 shed weekend, and I lost 2 really big properties, really good properties. And I'm gonna go see if the family member that was shed hunting it this year, see if they shed hunted it, and I'm gonna see if I can go in for seconds. So it's that good. I feel like if I can get in there, we'll at least find some. So, but first goal is to find this 2-year-old 10 that has got to be out here. Got to be. And I'm just gonna keep this rolling a second because I'm looking right where I think it is. It's somewhere out here. And then I also have another 8-point still holding, and then a lot of dinks. So come on, where are you at? And we are at we're at shed 40, which the goal was to be at like 75 right now, but with 2 permission properties last weekend, I'm almost positive they were walked through and shed poached, and then the 2 I lost. So last weekend should have been the best weekend, and it didn't go well, boys. It was not a good weekend. Yeah, very stressful, but what do you do? Alrighty, boys, right after I shut off the camera, probably 50 yards, right here he is. I gotta look back at my phone and make sure this is the first side he lost, but there we go. He's got a big base, big brow. This deer's so young. Super long main beam. He's gonna be a 6x6. We got those genetics around here, so let's go, boys. That is shed 41. That is literally what we came here for. Yep, it is his left side. So this is the first side he lost, so he could be still hanging on to the right side, but that is a win. Drove 2.5 hours literally for this shed. You guys might think I'm crazy, and I probably am crazy, but so pretty much done with this farm. We're gonna do a quick sweep around, you know, all the good areas, and then and we're gonna go knocking on that door, and hopefully we can get some permission back. Alrighty, boys, what an absolute blessing. I really thought he was gonna hold that other side for a long time, and he didn't. It's right here, right on this field edge. Let's go, boys. Hopefully this is a start to a story, because this dude, let's go. Let's go. This 2.5-year-old, like, you can just tell his brow. We have a 6x6 genetic with tall brows, and then they become split. I mean, you can tell this dude next year, 3.5, is gonna be a 6x6 with tall brows, and he's already got crazy mass for being 2.5. Let's go. Hopefully this deer will survive and stick around. Let's go, boys. That is a blessing. That is a win. Oh my goodness. What shed is this? This is insane. I bet this is that 8 that showed up as a half rack, and it is. Oh my goodness, boys. Let's go. That's shed 42. This is shed 43. This is the other deer we came here to find. Let's go. Unbelievable. That is blood, the wax ring, all there. This is insane. Let's go. I gotta look up and see what shed this is, if this is the one that he had or the one that he already lost. I'm assuming this is the one he still had, and he lost it shortly after he left the food, which is like 70 yards away. This is incredible, boys. Alrighty, guys, so I went back through, and for some reason I can't find it. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming this is the side he still had when he showed up. But we're gonna walk the rest of the farm, you know, really good, and see if we can find this other side. Alrighty, boys, so that guy is not home yet to ask for permission for those 2 pieces, but I'm just realizing something. I'm walking a farm that reminded me of the only shed I found here this year. It is actually the other side to this guy. So we actually matched up this guy today and then matched up that 2-year-old 10. So that is a blessing. But I'm just gonna, as I'm waiting for the neighbors to get home, I'm just going to, I got nothing to do, so I'm just gonna re-walk this property, and maybe something has shed here. You know, it's the same group of deer. It's my core deer, so probably not gonna find anything, but who knows. We're just gonna give it a shot. Alrighty, boys, so it is an absolute blessing. I was able to get permission on the 2 properties that I lost this year. They have been walked, so it's a little unfortunate, but I was able to get permission to look for, you know, the scraps. And with nothing else to shed hunt down here, it is a blessing. So hopefully we find something. Not really sure what to expect, so we'll see. Alrighty, boys, we got shed 44, and it's a freshie, and I have no idea who it is right now. And of course it's chewed. We're in the timber. Oh, I know exactly what deer that is. It is the old, super old wide 10. He shed super early, and he's got a big, what do you call it? His guts are hanging out. But yeah, this deer shed in December, but he's so wide. I had no idea that he busted off his G2, but hopefully we can match him up. I had a feeling that this is where he was bedded, so got like three years of history with this deer. I filmed him a couple years in a row, so he's so old, but he's not big. So and he's still alive even with his I can't think right now, boys. I can't think what it's called, but yeah, shed 44. What a blessing. Let's go. It's a hernia, boys. Finally thought of it. Alrighty, boys, I'm counting this because I know that these squirrels in here are absolutely ruthless. So I'm gonna say this was a shed at one point. Probably shouldn't, but we're calling it a shed. So that is shed 45. Alrighty, boys, I'm just getting home. I'm gonna post this video. It's sheds 34 to 45. I did not get the properties done, even close to being done. So next weekend I'll be going back down there. So there's more shed hunting to come. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys are having a awesome shed season. Hopefully you're finding lots of sheds. Put in the comments how many sheds you guys are at, because you know I'm curious and I love hearing about it. So I appreciate you guys watching. God bless.